YTBC, what is the deal? Now, as a 35-year-old man, I'm not completely out of shape, but I really got my Barry Sanders on, my Emmett Smith on, my you know, Adrian Peterson on this morning, running from my bedroom to the living room to turn my damn TV down because I had the TV up in there. I was getting my children ready for school this morning, ironing their uniforms, and I usually have ESPN up pretty loud so I can hear it I had to run in there because a story came on, a sex scandal, Louisville sex scandal, and the last thing I want is my 7 or 8-year-old asking me, "Daddy, what's an escort?" So I had to turn it down. Man, I ran in there so damn fast. My wife was laughing at me, but here we go again. Another scandal on a university campus. This time it's involving Rick Pitino and the Louisville Cardinal men's basketball team. I guess from about 2010 to 2014, there was a house they were using as a, let's call it a strip club. Using this strip club for recruits when the recruits came in to visit, all these big time 5-star recruits that come in to visit. And it seems as if Andre McGee, who was an assistant basketball coach at the time for Louisville, he is now a coach of University of Missouri, Kansas City. Supposedly, there's this woman that was she was the head of the escort service for the players. She was providing the women, her daughters, herself. What is her name? She just came out with a book. I want to say Katina Powell is her name. So do I think Rick, then they're saying that Rick Pitino, he had no idea of this, and put it like this, man. Do I think Rick Pitino was orchestrating it? No. Do I think he was there, getting the party started, turning on the music, being a DJ? No. But do I think he knew nothing about it? Absolutely not. First of all, 2009, Rick Pitino had his own situation, a blackmail situation where he was, he was getting fellatio in a bathroom or something, or he fucked some lady in the bathroom, and then she blackmailed him. So that's one thing. And then now we have this. It's just, now when I'm thinking about Louisville, I'm not thinking about their championships, the championship that they won with Rick Pitino. Who's to say if this stuff was going on when Denny Crum was there? And it probably was, but this is nothing new to me. It's not, it's a story, it's Louisville, but it's nothing new to me. Like I told you guys on my previous channel, my Mr. Boxing Today, we know this is Miss Boxing Today too, but my Mr. Boxing Today channel, I did a little small series of college basketball scandals. Grew up in the recruiting process from the mid 90s to the late 90s. I've showed you guys that 18-gallon bin that I have with filled stuff with old college recruiting letters. Virginia, Kansas State, a lot of D1s. And I told you guys stories about my when I visited the campus. When I went to Virginia and visited the campus, and I'll leave a link in the description box so you can see. So for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, but Virginia was a school that sent me damn near like 200 recruiting letters. I went down there for a visit. I'm not going to say any names, but I went down there. The star player on the team, I went there for a visit. We're in a house where, with the players, where a few of the players, one of the starters, I thought he was probably the best player on the team that year, but one of the starters on the team, like I told y'all, we in there. Next thing you know, there's girls, there's, drink, there's, marijuana in the room. And this one, I was really green, man. And I was still, I was on my recruiting visit. I'm still in high school, I was super green. It was all about basketball in school. So I wasn't doing that. I wasn't even drinking nothing. So next thing you know, we hear a loud bang at the door. Me thinking, first thing I'm thinking is the cops. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my goodness, man, what the hell? I'm on a recruiting visit. Cops show up. There's weed smoke. They come in, or it's the coach. The coach comes in. I mean, there's weed, there's cigar guts on the table. There's alcohol everywhere. There's sticks and seeds. There's weed paraphernalia. There's blunts getting passed around. He came in to talk to the star player about something. Seen me and said, "Hey, you having a good time?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm thinking like, "Oh shit, man! Like this shit about to be all over the paper." I'm thinking like a lot of shit's about to go down. Not necessarily me. I was just a recruit. But with the star players, I mean, the ACC is one of the top basketball conferences in the history of college basketball and in Division I sports. But long story short, nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. He came in and then he left out, pretty much. So another situation, a school that I was at, there was it was about probably and I was one of the players in the starting five. Our starting five, we had about 3 dudes that were doing coke on a consistent basis. Guys' nose were bleeding in practice for no reason. How the hell three of the starters nose bleeding in practice every other practice, and as a coach you don't try to get it. I mean, I can go on and on with this, man. And then it's ironic that the assistant coach who used to be at Louisville, who they're accusing of setting up these arrangements, he was given this supposedly the Katina Powell, the lady that was ahead of providing the women. She has receipts. She has hotel receipts. I mean, Louisville's pretty much fucked. Now, for some of you, you probably want to get mad at her. Oh, that slut, that whore. They're smart these days, man. Especially with Facebook and Twitter and text messages and saving receipt. I mean, oh man. They're implicating a lot of their good players over the years, on that championship team, though. That championship team, Montrezl Harrell, he's being accused of having sex. The lady said that one of the girls felt sorry for him at a party and went in there and, bust down for him. You know what I'm saying? 5 recruits or 5 players that were either recruits or former players said that going there for a visit was like going to a strip club. So it is what it is. It's happening everywhere. I can sit here and talk for hours. I have, I was really, like I said, getting recruited pretty heavily. And as a basketball player is getting recruited, you hang around other recruits, play AAU. So I got a whole bunch of old basketball homeboys where we can sit here for hours and talk about recruiting violations that schools used to do. Like I showed you guys a letter from Iowa State that I got. The NCAA only allows colleges a certain time where they can contact you via phone call, via sending you mail. And I was showing you dates clearly past the dates that they were supposed to send me mail, or the things that they will talk about in the recruiting letters, like going to the NBA. I showed you that. Like I showed you the Kansas State letter. So, and I wish I really, I wish I could find a way to go through like the phone calls, man. Like they will call all the time. Not necessarily, just Division Ones. I had, the small or just the big Division Ones. I had small Division Ones, division. I mean, they would just call past the recruiting deadline. It didn't matter. It didn't matter, man. And they would know a lot too. They'll know about your girlfriend. Like I talked to one coach. He asked me, said her name at the time. My girlfriend at the time. I'm like, what the? You're halfway across the country. How the hell you have a girlfriend named, But it doesn't surprise me at all, It doesn't surprise me at all. The only thing that really surprised me is that I still had the speed to to run in there and turn the damn TV down so my kids wouldn't hear everything that was going on. And then I see Rick Pitino's son, who's actually the head coach of the University of Minnesota, he came out and said that, you know, my father didn't know anything about this. You know, pretty much doing what a son should do. You know, I'm not going to fault his son for coming to, you know, speak up on his father, man. It's his damn father. That's blood. You know what I mean? But he needs to keep his mouth a little bit quiet, because I live in Minnesota, and come on, man. You don't think people don't know about those campus parties in Southeast Minneapolis? Coach Pitino, that's been going on for years. And I don't follow the college kids around, but come on. University of Minnesota is notorious for the house parties in Southeast Minneapolis. That's just a given fact. We know that. Any era. You know what I'm saying? Back in my day, and I'm sure 16 years later, they're still doing it over there. Even a few years after I was done with college, they were still getting it popping over there. Before I went to college, they was getting it popping over there. We know what that is, you know. But what's funny is Pitino's son was a part of the coaching staff in 2010 when this was going on. So, of course, I expect him to say, hey, wasn't nothing going on, because it was on his watch too, not just his father's. He was there on the coaching staff too. All right, so I'm watching ESPN First Take here, and I see they're about to talk about Golovkin says Mayweather only fighter he would drop down to 154 to fight. So I'm about to just rewind my DVR and listen to this mainstream coverage of the sport that we love. YTBC, I'm out.